And good evening. This is Ankush here from Alif Consulting, and welcome back in our Azure Virtual Desktop video series. So in last video, we understand how we can access the Azure Virtual Desktop from web and from the remote desktop app, and at the same time, we understand how we can manage the user sessions, right? But in this video, what we are going to learn, we are going to learn how we can basically create a AVD scaling plan. Now, why scaling plan is required, right? Let's take an example. You have a 10 host pool, one host pool. In that one host pool, you have a 10 VMs running, right? And during the off-peak hours, all of them are always running. Okay. So in that case, what's going to be happen? It's going to Microsoft is going to be charged for that, right? Microsoft charge for the compute based on based on the uses, right? But with the AVD scaling plan, what you can do, you can save that cost because AVD scaling plan allow us to make the resources up and down during our peak time or during the off peak hours, right? So let's say if I want to run my all the host pool instances inside the host pool during the 9 to 6, and after the 6 I only want to have a one server running inside a host pool. That's something we can define with the scaling plan, and that should allow us to do a cost saving for our virtual desktop solution, right? How we can create it and how we can assign it to the host pool. Let's quickly jump to the Azure portal and let me walk through that how you can create it, right? So to create the scaling plan, what you need to do, you need to go here inside the scaling plan on the inside the Azure Virtual Desktop console, and from here you can create your scaling plan. So if you see, I don't have any scaling plan yet, so let's go ahead and create one quickly. So for that, what we need to do, we need to click on create, right? We need to select the resource group where we want to put the scaling plan, and then we need to select the location where we want to put this metadata of our scaling plan and can define the name of the scaling plan. So let's define the SP, the scaling plan, and then define the friendly name. So let's go ahead and select the same name here. And if you want to put the description, you can do as well, and then you can select what is the time zone standard is going to be applied, and you can select the host type pool, and then you can exclude the tag. Let's say if you want to specifically want to exclude a tag or a machine which have a specific tag, you can do that as well. This option become exclusion tag option become very handy when you're running a maintenances, right? And then click on next. In this, we're going to add a schedule. For the schedule is going to be in three stages. One is a ramp up, one is a peak hour, or one is the ramp down, or what is the peak hours, right? Now let's select what is the day for in which this schedule is going to be run. So I'm selecting Monday to Friday, and then you can select what is your ramp up time is going to be. Let's say my ramp up time is going to be a 9 a.m. in the morning. Now what is the load balancing method I want to use? I want to use breadth first because I want to share my sessions across all the session host pool. What is the minimum percentage of the host? So let's say if I have a 10 host or 10 host, I can select with 20, or I can select with the 40. So in this case, what is going to be happen if I say a 40, 4 host pool would be available in that case. Now let's define the capacity threshold value. Let's say define it to the 80%. So as soon as the capacity threshold value reach to the 80%, it will be going to start a more host inside a session pool. Or if I say 80 50 50, not a 80 80, let's say if I say a 50 50, in this case it's also going to be start a one more session host as soon as the session has been start coming on the host pool servers. Now what is the peak time is going to be, and what is the load balancing is going to be? It's in the peak time or in the ramp up time, it's better to have a breath first, and during the ramp down or peak hour, it's better to have a breath first. Sorry, it is better to have a depth first, right? So in depth, what is going to be happen? All the session is going to be redirected to the one server until unless the server is got full. So this is our ramp up time. This is our peak hours time. And now let's define the ramp down. So before that, what we need to do? We need to make a little changes in the time. The peak hour should be have the ramp up time and peak hour should not be same, right? I'm saying is 9 a.m. all the user is going to be come inside and start logging on the APD solution, and by the 10 I need the peak hours to be started so that all the capacity or all the session hours should be up according to the capacity which I have defined or the threshold value which I have defined in the wrap up tab. Now we need to define the peak down time. So let's say if I want to do it in after the 6, it's going to be wrap up downtime, and I want to do it in a depth first. What is the maximum percentage of the host? I want to do 10%, so that out of 10 servers only one server is going to be, and what is the capacity load? I can do that as well. Let's say if I want to say 100%, so I want to have everything on the one server, right? And then you do have option to force login, or you do have option to not force login, right? If you do it in a force login, you can define the grace period for that, and then you can define the message, and user will be going to get this message 30 minutes before or for the specific for the first login. And you do have a selected to the no also, and here you can select which VM you want to stop. So you want to stop with the VM which have a no active or disconnected session, or you want to stop only the VM which have no active connection. So you do have these options which allows you to do to take the control over the VM stopped status as well. So which VM is going to be stopped or which is not, you can control that as well. Now what is your peak time is of peak time of peak hours is looks like, and here you can define what is your load balancing algorithm is look like. So it's better to have a depth and click on add, and then you can assign it to the host pool, and in my case I already have a one, and by default enable the auto scaling. If you don't enable this auto scaling, the scaling plan which you have defined is would not be going to run it. Click on tag, click on review and create, and click on create. Right, that's it. As soon as you start taking a sessions, or more user sessions will be going to become inside this this auto scaling plan will be get triggered, and then uh, all the session host which is there inside the host pool will be get a reshuffle or or get started or stop according to the plan. Okay, looks like there is a issue with the plan, or there is information. So let's see what's the code. Unable to access the host with the resource ID. Make sure you have Azure Virtual Desktop permission to access the resources. Okay, let's redeploy this one, because the user which I'm using it here have a full access to the pool. Okay, let's remove this configuration. I think we don't want to do it right now. We'll do it later on as well. Okay, it's going to be in the AVD. Okay, so let's live in this case. What I did, there is an error with the host pool assignment, so I removed the host pool informations and I have created only the simple plan. So in my case, I have removed that information and now the plan has been created. So if you go to the inside the Azure Virtual Desktop console, or if you refresh, if you go to the scaling plan, you would be able to see a scaling plan here, but it's not showing it yet. Maybe there's some issues uh, with this refresh. So give it a time. Yep, now you can see you have the scaling plan, and then from here you can manage your schedules. You can add more schedule, or you can basically change your wrap up peak hours, wrap down and peak off timer as well according to the requirements. And if you want to add more schedules inside that, and then you can do that as well. At the same time, you can use this one to select the host pool, and you can assign that as well, and this will be get assigned to the host pool, and all the server inside that host pool will be get automatically scale up or scale down according to the schedule. And if you go inside the host pool, and if you click on the host pool, and if you click on the scaling plan, you would be see there is a scaling plan is associated with this uh, pool, right? So it's taking a little bit time because of the refresh which happened here. But here, if you go here, you would be see that the plan is already associated. So if you see here, it's automatically updated with the assignment. So if you refresh, most probably you would be able to see those changes. It's still not showing it, because it's might taking us some time to refresh this thing, but this is how you do the scaling plan, right? And at the same time, I also want to cover how you can manage the user session, because that's something we missed in our last video. So what is the user session management is? So let's say if you have a user who is already connected with the AVD uh, session, and you want to see or you want to kill that specific user, you can do that as well directly from the Azure Virtual Desktop console. So for that, you need to click on the user, you need to search for that user. So let's say this is the user which I'm talking about, the first user, Alif user. And if you go to this user, you would be able to see the information, you would be able to see what is the individual assignment, where you will be able to see what is the group assignment. At the same time, you would be see if there is any session is running. Now in my case, I don't have any session running, so let's say let me connect with the word document first and show you. This will be going to show you. Okay, so might be I've typed the wrong password. All right, I am inside the one of the session where I have access this Excel and the Word. And if you go here, or if you refresh, you would be okay. I am not logged in with the. I am logged in with the Alif user. That's correct. Why it's not showing me? Okay, maybe. Okay, wow. Most probably it might be the admin user. Hmm, interesting. So looks like there is a bug actually, because it's not getting a refresh with the session information. Most probably. But here if you see, I do have a session and I do have a user logged in on the Word and Excel. Quite interesting. Looks like something is wrong with this AVD, or maybe there is a bug. But from here you can search for the user, and you can see the individual assignment, group assignments, and then from here you can see the session, and then you can kill the session from here as well, right? And so that's how you do. uh, oh, sorry for that. uh, so that's how you do or you manage the session for the users as well. Well, I this is what I I have covered in this video. I hope you like this video. If you like, please click on like and subscribe for more upcoming AVD videos, and feel free to reach us in case of if you need any help. Thank you.